I post myself for public ridicule. I titled this 11 Keys to Automotive Sales Success because I was working off a sheet, and I showed this to Larry yesterday, that I compile. I've got the distinct pleasure of being able to work with some of the best salespeople, best sales managers, best dealers in the United States. Last week, I was at the #1 volume selling Ford store, I think 29 years in a row, Galpin Ford. I worked in their Honda store in May over a weekend, and they delivered 105 units on a Saturday. When I meet a good salesperson, a great sales manager, a great dealer, I hang around them and I take notes. I want to know how they do it. I could never sell 50 cars a month when I sold cars. I know there's people, I mystery shop all the time because I know there's people out there smarter than I am. And I want to pick their brains. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share knowledge with you that I've picked up from others. If I happen to have an original thought, I'll point it out, although I don't think I'll really need to point out much to you. All right, let's talk about the business for a second. It should be easier to close the sale when they get here. As a matter of fact, it absolutely is easier to close the sale if we do it right when they get here. Because when they get here, they're coming here with intent. Have they usually found a vehicle they're interested in? How are your prices online? All MSRPs? So we're pre-discounting the vehicles in order to attract consumers, right? So theoretically, Brian, if I see a vehicle online, it's on your website, it's a vehicle I'm interested in, it's a price that attracts me, I come in, I meet a nice salesperson, I have a good time. When someone puts the numbers down in front of me, theoretically I should say, well, gee, that's the price I saw online, let's do business.
Sure.
That's theoretically. What's happening in practical application?
Personal discount.
Why is that?
I think that's just how they're trained. That's what they know.
It's what I taught them.
Yep.
It's what Larry taught them. 44 years? 34. Where's my 44-year man? It's what you taught him to, you son of a bitch. Okay? It's our fault. It's our fault. Our first offer was never our best offer. That's what they remember. That's what they learn in 3rd grade now. But times have changed. You know, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. It used to be a blast to negotiate with a customer. We'd start way high, they'd start low, we'd end up in the middle, they'd get a discount, we'd make a profit. Those were the good old days. Margins. Jerry, were margins bigger on the new cars than they are now?
Oh, yeah.
I sold BMWs. In 1979, the BMW 3 Series was $13,000 and it had $4,000 worth of markup in it. It was a blast. Again, we thought it was hard. We had no idea how easy it was. 57% of the customers, when they walk in here, it's their first contact with the dealer. Satisfaction with prices dropped from 74 to 60% in the last 3 years. That's incredible. Because I know this for a fact. In 2018, gross margins on new and used cars hit historical lows. It's never been a better time to buy a car for a customer. When my friends come up to me and say, hey, Richards, how do I get a good deal on a vehicle? My response is always the same. Just show up. If you show up, you're going to get a good deal, unless you're a complete moron. And then I tell them something else. I tell them not to lie to the car salesman. How do they react when I tell them not to lie to the car salesman?
They like me.
Well, I ain't worried about that. I'm worried about the car salesman lying to me. And here's my response 100% of the time. Dude, I know you and people like you. I know 100,000 salespeople plus. You're way more likely to lie than the salesperson is. And that's what I believe. Did we used to lie? Yeah, we were taught to lie. You can't lie anymore. The business is too transparent. Hollis, when someone meets you, you're under suspicion automatically. You're held to a higher level of integrity than anybody else in any sales field I can think of. When I checked in the hotel last night, was I immediately suspicious of the front desk clerk? No, they don't have a bad reputation. Landon, this is your first day? You had a good not your first day? Your first day. Cameron, yesterday you had a good reputation. Now it sucks. Okay? All right, but here's what a good salesperson does. A good salesperson turns into a human being with a customer. When you meet and greet them, you're a car salesman. In 20 or 30 minutes, you better be a human being. People will buy from a human being. They will not buy from a car salesman. All right, state of the business. Only 45% of the customers say they were satisfied with the time it takes to buy a car. That's the number one complaint. It takes too long to buy a car. I'll share with you in the small groups, I'll share with you a couple ways to cut down on the time it takes to buy a car, and it's also the earliest trial close in the history of the business.